Hello, I am your new favorite, JJ Caballero, joined by the lovely Goins, Casey Goins.
Hello.
And this is Mono Stereo Video, a podcast about movie music. I'm a songwriter, producer, DJ, while Casey is an amazing hairstylist and salon owner. And we love movies, and this is the perfect excuse to talk about music and movies. All right. How's it going, love?
Good. I'm pumped to talk about this movie. I'm so excited.
Me too. So, if you noticed in the title of this episode so far, you'll notice that we aren't doing a Gaspar Noé film. We gotta think of something else at some point for something, but it's because love was kind of hard to find, and didn't have enough time to find it, and then it's not that the most complex sound. It's work. It's work that we didn't have the time to do, but as well, we went to see Challengers yesterday, and we were fucking blown away by the score. So much so that we had to just talk about it today. And it's hot off the presses. It just came out this weekend. So did the soundtrack, and that's what we're talking about today. Because it's Trent and Atticus. It's a Trent and Atticus soundtrack. We covered everything so far, and
Try to pop that one in there.
yeah, we had to pop it in there. We had to keep up with the tradition. But first off, I do want to say a little something, and on a more serious note, real quick, I want to bring to attention some stuff that's gonna be in the links in the bio. First off, Free Palestine. As some of you may know, maybe followers of this podcast, huge lefty here, and a few of my episodes prior, I just talk a lot of shit, leftist agitprop type shit. But on that note, we and you can see that there's a lot of poop happening out in the world. There's a big travesty happening out in Israel, out in Gaza. The Palestinian people, poor Palestinian people, are just it's bad out there. And I wanted to bring to light that there's tons of protest going on out in the world, out in the United States. There's a bunch of campuses, and the state's trying to oppress all these students, these brave students who are trying to bring awareness to what's going on out there. They want their schools to stop funding the genocide that's happening in Gaza, and we want the U.S. to stop funding the genocide that's happening in Gaza. And it's a very serious thing, and we just want to bring to light some of the links in the bio are going to be to if there's a way that we could find a link to directly support people in Gaza and the Palestinians, then we're gonna try to help and support them in any way. Gonna put some links there. I've also found some links, and we're gonna look for some more to help students who've been arrested pay for some legal fees and stuff out in because kids are being arrested for protesting on college campuses, and it's such bullshit. And they need help like anybody else. It's college is expensive, and these students are broke students, and it's a whole thing. So if there's any way anybody out there can help out, and even if not, if you could share the links too, if that's the way you could help out, that's how it is. That's what happens. That's how we spread the word. But yeah, that was the most serious thing I kind of wanted to bring up and bring light to it. It's a difficult time right now, and it's hard to navigate that. We talk about fun, silly stuff here. Excuse me. But we are very aware of what's going on in the world. But that's also why we're here. If there's any way that we can bring some levity to your day and bring you out of any sort of funk and stuff, that's why we're here. So moving on. 2024, that's the year we are in right now.
You're ridiculous.
Luca Guadagnino releases Challengers on April 26th, 2024. This movie.
Oh man.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
I was not looking forward to watching it. I will be very honest. The
I was very
trailers
looking forward to it.
made it seem like it was gonna just be one of those we're pining after the same girl kind of deals. Like a rom-com or a you know what I mean? like one of those kind of movies.
Yeah.
But I was thoroughly impressed and I enjoyed it very much. It was a really good, very sexy movie, very
Mm-hmm.
colorful, very pretty. And it was just fun. Like the soundtrack made it like, oh, what's
Yeah.
gonna happen next? Or
It
like
totally did.
what?
Every
It
time
made
one of
everything exciting.
every time one of their songs came out, it happened on the part where it was just slow mo. They were
Mm-hmm.
just walking, but it was like you could just notice their bodies glistening or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hell was going on, and then just this really hardcore like four on the floor, like you know,
Yeah.
like that was cool. That was
uh-huh.
awesome. And I mean, without it, it probably could have. If this was like an orchestral type thing, I don't know if it would have worked the same.
Yeah, and that's why like I liked it in previous interviews. Like Trent has said, like he wants you to feel a certain way,
Yeah.
and that's like it does. It makes you
Mm-hmm.
feel a certain way.
They've worked together before, Trent, Atticus, and Luca. They worked together on Bones and All, which
Mm-hmm.
we've covered before, a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
Go listen to that episode. It's one
Mm-hmm.
of my favorite episodes.
Right? I think I cry.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think you did cry.
Yeah, I
I
did.
think you
I
did
teared. I
cry
did. It
when
was
I did.
that movie's so emotional for
Mm-hmm.
me. Like I felt that shit.
Yeah, it was an interview that I did with Blake as well. Like we talked
Yes,
about it,
that's true.
yeah. And then I interviewed you. Like I talked to you afterwards,
Yeah.
inserted in it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool episode.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and listen to Bones and All. Yeah, fuck yeah. But Luca, Call Me by Your Name, Suspiria. We're gonna talk about at some
Mm-hmm.
point too. I don't know. Maybe this year.
I'm sure
Maybe
Halloween's
this
gonna
year.
come roll around.
Yeah, that's true. But I have some other ideas for Halloween as well.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Or maybe this one will be one of those like, cause like this one I feel, or Suspiria, I feel like most of the cast was female. Like there wasn't very many males,
Uh
so maybe
huh.
we can have like a,
I kind of want
you
to
know,
do. I kind of want to do
powerful.
something else with the dude that made all that music.
Oh, that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Mm.
So we'll think about that.
All right, all
Uh
right,
huh.
all
Uh-huh.
right.
But yeah, so we're so just thank you very much. First off, thank you on
Mhm.
top. I mean, kind of up top. We're 7 minutes into the introduction. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to all our international listeners.
Thank you,
We've picked up
everybody.
a bunch of people from all different types, all different countries. People out in Ukraine, people out. There's some Russians.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that's a weird thing to have some Russian and some Ukrainians, but not. They're just people. Are people. People are people. There's things going on out there too. We're very
Mm-hmm.
aware of all that, and we support people just staying peaceful and staying alive. And man, it's rough out there. Ukraine, man. People just got to stay safe out there. So so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just looking at like there's also like we had some people in Iran
Mm-hmm.
listen. So you all be careful out there. A lot of Europeans,
Mm-hmm.
people in African countries as well, in
Cool.
the African nations as well. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for
Mm-hmm.
listening. We very much appreciate it, and we're working on some other things to talk to you about at some point. Stay tuned. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
some little updates. Stay tuned on that. I mean, any other follow us at Monasterio Video. Follow us. You can follow us there and find all the links through there.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Deep cuts. What else? What else is going on? What do we have coming up? Do I have
I
anything coming
mean,
up?
you have a
Oh yeah,
show
June
coming
6th.
up.
June 6th.
But before that, we'll be on
Oh
vacation.
yeah,
So,
there's that too. Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
So keep up with us to update on that. I don't know. We got some cool things for you planned, and so we're getting off of Gaspar. We're gonna go. So this is a continuation of Trent and Atticus, and they're still I think they're doing something else. I think
Mhm.
this was the most recent.
And dude, wasn't there like news that they
Yes,
are gonna
Nine Inch
be Nine
Nails.
Inch Nails
Nine Inch
again?
Nails music, yeah.
Hmm.
There's tons of stuff that has come out within. I'll link to some of the interviews and stuff that they've done recently because of this movie. But prior to that, just it's been like a kind of a retrospect of like people looking into stuff they're doing and
Hmm.
things like that. There's been I think yeah they've been on some press
Hmm.
recently, so I'll link to some of that in the. There's gonna be a lot of links. There's a lot of links to search through on there. Yeah, this movie was very hot. Let's get into the cast and we can just talk about the hotness through the cast.
Mhm.
Yeah, this this movie. Casey also had like food poisoning and stuff this weekend and such.
Yes,
Yes,
I got so yeah,
she
pretty
got
much it
sick.
was like Thursday
Yeah,
evening, like it hit, and it was like the worst
yeah,
pain I've ever felt,
yeah.
in a continuous manner for like over 12
I
hours.
know.
So I feel like I did like a million bajillion sit-ups and my abdomen is very
Abdam,
sore.
abdam.
But thankfully I feel much better because that was awful.
Yeah,
That was awful.
I'm glad you're okay. That was
Mhm.
very that was rough.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I hope you're okay. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're okay. Okay,
I'm good.
okay. Yeah, I know. We just had pizza, so we're fine now.
Right? I was like I ate pizza. It was amazing.
I know, I know. My stomach started hurting after
I
eating the pizza right
know.
now. Yeah.
We're getting old.
And then that's what we're gonna have to eat for dinner anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
we can you can eat that tomorrow. We can do something else. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
We'll
That's
see.
not the point.
So is it Zendaya or Zendaya?
I say Zendaya. I don't know.
Zendaya.
Hmm.
I say Zendaya. Let's look to Wikipedia. Let's see. Zendaya. Zendaya. Okay,
Yeah,
Zendaya.
because her father has Nigerian descent, so I'm sure it's you know what
Okay,
I mean.
okay.
But yeah, I say the Zendaya.
Zendaya is the name of the movie. Big superstar.
Zendaya is the name of the movie.
She's like the big name in the movie. She's like
No, I
you know what I mean?
know. But
It's
that's
Challengers starring Zendaya, you know? Yeah.
because she's like she's flawless. Like she just is. She's flawless.
Yeah.
She's so flawless. Like I have no other like that's the perfect if you want like in the dictionary
Yeah.
put Zendaya.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Euphoria star. What was
She was
what
a
was
little bit of a Disney kid. She had
little she
a
was a Disney
Casey
kid.
Undercover, I think was her show on
See, she
Disney.
made her television debut as Rocky Blue on a sitcom called Shake It Up, Casey Undercover. And then she was also in the Spider-Man movies, the newest ones with Tom Holland, who's also her boo.
Hmm.
She was born in 1996. 1996?
Yep. She's
Damn.
27 years old.
Dang, that's hardcore.
Hmm.
Wow. That's hardcore. In Oakland, California, let's see. Oh, yeah, Dune. Duh. Duh. She's in fucking Dune.
Hmm.
Dune Part 2. Huge, huge fucking part in Dune Part. She rocks in Dune Part 2.
Hmm.
She rocks it. Yeah. She rocks it in this one. She plays Tashi Duncan, main character,
Hmm.
super hot,
Hmm.
super hot in this movie. And we're also spoilers. We're gonna do spoilers.
Yes.
This is a
So if you have
yeah.
not
If you haven't
watched,
seen it,
do
yeah,
like don't
maybe
listen to
hold
this
on.
episode
Yeah,
because of spoiler nation.
or if you like spoilers, go for it. That's cool.
Hmm.
But know that we're gonna talk about the end. We're gonna talk about because that
Hmm.
end was awesome.
Yeah.
But Tashi Duncan's the main star in this film, and she rocks it. She's her introduction is just like it's her butt. The introduction to her is her butt.
Like she's
It's
just
just butts.
underwear, getting
Yeah,
ready, putting on the lotion, and she's just beautiful.
we just start with butts.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I want to find out what underwear she was wearing. I was like,
I
those are
want
amazing underwear. I
I
love
want you to
them.
find out what underwear she was wearing. I'm with that. Josh O'Connor as Patrick Zweig. Josh O'Connor.
He's British.
He is British.
Hmm.
British actor. Let's see. Oh, he had a supporting role in Doctor Who
Hmm.
and
Peaky
in Peaky
Blinders.
Blinder Pricker. Peaky Blinders. Okay. Also in The Crown. He was in The
Yeah,
Crown.
he won a
Okay.
Golden Globe for his role in The
Really?
Crown. Hmm.
Wow. Oh, he plays Charles. Oh shit.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's see. He was born to John, who is a teacher, and Emily, who is a midwife in Newbury. Ah.
Zendaya's parents were teachers also, or her
Oh.
mom. Her mom is
That's
teacher.
cool. Oh, that's super cool.
Hmm.
Let's see. Let me pull up his. Let's see. I have them up
He's
on.
33 years old. So I was like, whoa, like they were
Wow.
pretty like him and the other guy were pretty much playing their age.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
read in an interview that she wanted this role because she wants to come out of that like like I want to play something closer to the age that I'm at and
That's
I'm gonna
true.
become. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a little kid
Because
anymore.
Euphoria, she's a high schooler. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what she's supposed to be in
Yeah.
Euphoria. That's true. You're true. You're true. He was born on May 20th, 1990. Okay, okay. Little younger than Chapo. Wait, hold on. 91 Chapo. Never mind.
By the
Let's.
way, Chapo's his brother because
Oh,
people
yeah. I
automatically hear Chapo
know.
and think something else.
He was in that movie Emma with Anya by. Oh, that was directed by Autumn de Wilde? Oh, crazy. Anya Taylor
She was
Joy.
on Peaky Blinders too.
She was?
I read that earlier. I
Oh.
haven't finished. I always started and I never get past the first season.
Mia Goth was in this movie also, the Emma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta watch that. I like Autumn de Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he was also, let's see, in a movie called La He's in a lot of stuff. Wow, cool. In the Cinderella, the live action
Mm.
Cinderella. Huh. Cool stuff. Mike Faist as Art Donaldson. Mike Faist is an American actor and dancer and singer. He starred in original Broadway productions of Newsies and Dear Evan Hansen. And then he was in West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg West Side
Mm-hmm.
Story. Yeah, he looks like like he's got the body of a musical, like of a
Of a
dancer.
ballet,
Uh
yeah, like of a
huh. Uh
dancer. He has like a
huh.
nice,
Total, yeah.
uh-huh.
So such hot bodies in this movie.
Yeah, and that's why
Everybody,
I had to look too.
yeah.
Like, so Josh O'Connor's 6'1". Mike
Okay.
Feist is 6 feet. Zendaya's 5'10". So they're just all like
Wow. Giants.
tall, lean bodies, just
Uh-huh.
walking around and playing tennis and
Oh my gosh. Working out.
yeah.
Working out. He was also in a movie called The Bike Riders. Where did I hear about that one? I didn't hear much about that one. Let's see. In a movie called Pinball. Yeah, he was great in this. Was he blonde, redhead? What was his hair
He's
color?
blonde.
He's blonde in this.
Hmm
Is that like a reddish blonde? Is that what is that? Because I didn't. You know, it looked it
You didn't think he was blonde?
not really. It looked more reddish to me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other guy had like brunette reddish, but not.
I didn't think he had reddish. I think the guy just had like darker hair.
No, yeah, this kid was blonde.
Hmm.
Hmm
Weird. Weird that I saw a different color.
I mean, everybody sees different. Why do you think my job's so hard? Everybody sees different. They do.
I mean, they're the main people in this film. They're the main characters.
Yeah, they're the main characters, and
they're the
then it's
main.
like you see his art's mom here and there. She's taking care of their child like all the time.
Helen, played by Haley Gates. Jake Jensen as Finn Larson. I think that was one of the tennis players. Tashi's dad, played by Naheem Garcia, and Nada Despovich was Tashi's mom. Let's see. Donald. I think his mom was in Art's mom.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Lister,
Mm-hmm.
Art's mom. Let's see. Darnell Appling. Oh, he's the umpire.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool. I liked him announcing it. It gave it like
Made a little spicy.
it was a little spicy. Just like his little glances, like
Uh-huh. They would get a little sassy.
What?
Uh-huh.
This movie was all looks. It was so many like I'm looking.
Lots of zoom, like
Yes.
close-up face shots and like slow-mo, like thinking. There was a lot of little things that did slow-mo where you waited for that little like smirk or like, you know what I mean?
Or like at the end, or closer to the end when he was bouncing the ball and dripping with sweat and he kept bouncing it.
Yeah, and then it started to drip onto the camera.
That's what made me have to go fucking pee.
Oh.
Like that's why I was like, I gotta get up.
I was wondering because you were doing good and then you were like, I can't take it anymore.
No. Burgess Bird also, she was the lady who was the she's the USTA official, the lady that signed him up.
Oh yeah,
Peter's up.
I liked her.
Yeah, she was nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was nice. Let's see who else was in here.
Just because of the whole like how he's there and he's like staring at her sandwich.
He's fucking hungry.
And she didn't like most people would get like, you know what I mean? But she was very patient with him. She was positive the whole time and I was like, that lady's very nice. Like that's a nice person.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that too. it was very Luca. Like the camera angles were nice. It was set
Mm-hmm.
up very well. Everything was very pretty.
Yeah,
Everybody
like
was super close throughout the whole film too. Like
mm-hmm.
everybody just got super in each other's face, which is
Uh-huh.
very like hot. Like
Yeah.
it could be uncomfortable in some situations,
But they were so
but it was so
confident
hot.
over it. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't anything where nobody was being squirmy or anything.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody was
everybody was so
screaming.
confident.
And
Like
comfortable. Everybody was just
mm-hmm.
so used to just being on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very hot movie. I mean, it's a a tale of a movie of competition. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's kind of a
That's why
love
it's called
triangle.
Challengers.
Yeah, there you
They were
go.
constantly challenging each
Challenging
other
each
the
other.
whole movie, all three of them.
Yeah. Peter and Art. I mean, Patrick, not Peter. Patrick and
Mm-hmm.
Art were. They've known each other since they were 12 years old. They grew up
Mm-hmm.
with each other at boarding school. They dunked with they were dunked. They bunked with each other. The Patrick showed Art how to jack off.
You find
You
out.
find that out in on a really hot part. Also,
But they're best friends.
yeah,
Like
it leads up to that point. You don't ever see sex.
yeah, that's what I loved so much
Yeah,
about this movie. Like nobody was like naked.
yeah,
You weren't seeing like in the most body parts you saw were in the men's locker room. Like you saw a few dicks.
yeah,
But you don't see any of the main characters' body parts really, except for Zendaya's beautiful butt.
yeah.
Like, but they didn't need it. They didn't need to show
They
anything
didn't.
else. You saw shirtless, you
Mm-hmm.
saw butt cheeks
Mm-hmm.
and lots of abs and legs, but there was
Mm-hmm.
they didn't need to show any of it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a love triangle told kind of going back and forth. It starts
Hmm.
in it starts in 2019.
It
That's when
starts in like present
yeah,
time,
present
and then it goes
2019 time.
back and forth in between different points
Mhm.
in their lives.
Points in their lives, like hitting different parts of their relationships. And when they all met each other, or when the dudes met Zendaya or Tashi, and to when they try to seduce her,
Mhm.
she makes them make out with each other because there's a lot
That
of
scene was
sexual
so
oppression.
cool too,
Yeah,
just because she was so in control of the
so in
situation.
control.
Like, and just how she got them to admit and tell like these very secret things in such a small amount of
Yes.
time. And then she was able to be like, okay, I'm going, like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna do anything with either one of you,
Yeah.
like, because I don't feel like it.
Yeah, she goes to their hotel room after they've met her, after they've kind of stalked her at an after party, birthday party type thing,
Hmm.
and she meets them. They have like that's when they tell her that they
They were
jacked off
bunk
together.
mates and that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And she tries to like seduce them. They're all making out. She makes them make out because there's a lot of sexual tension from the get go between
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
Those two dudes between them. It's very tense. A lot of tense.
I
And
felt it more like after all of that whole fact when they're already like in college and their guy's pro and like they're in that
uh-huh.
phase. I felt it then like when they're in the cafeteria eating the churros and they're
Oh
talking to each
yeah.
other. That scene was so funny to
Yeah,
me.
that was too. Yeah, that was cool. But they're competing for her. They both like her. They both know how hot she is and
Hmm.
such.
And she
And
tells them because they're both gonna play each other the next day. So she's
yes,
like, whoever wins can have my phone number.
mm-hmm. Happens that Patrick wins, and it kind of flashes around a little bit.
You end up finding out that after that they continued to date and they
Mm-hmm.
having a long distance
Mm-hmm.
relationship. While
But Art and Tashi end up going to Stanford.
hmm
I mean the framing story is that Art and Tashi are husband and wife now. They have a kid. They're very
she's his
rich.
coach
Mm-hmm.
and
She's his
he
coach.
turned pro and she's
Yes,
coaching him to.
yes.
Hmm.
And they travel around, and they've Patrick and Art have met again at a match. They're like it's like the championship of this one. What's it called? The New Rochelle final. The New Rochelle is kind of like an open tournament. More played by like professional amateurs and things like that. It's got like a $7,000 prize at the end.
Hmm.
It's Patrick is on that circuit. That's where he lives. That's where he plays. And in this present time, he's not doing very good. He's down on his
Kind of
luck,
like living out of his
living out of his
car and
car, just traveling
paycheck to
tournament,
paycheck.
paycheck to paycheck, tournament to tournament, living, trying to like hit up women on Tinder and like
Mhm.
sleep at their hotel
Mhm.
rooms and shit like that, trying to get a free room for the night, stuff like that. But
And Art has recently recovered from an injury, so he's
yes,
trying to gain back his confidence in the pro
yeah,
world. So Tashi, being his coach, recommends that he do this tournament so that
mm-hmm,
way he can build his confidence to get to the US Open and
mm-hmm.
play well.
I like the frame of this too, being like the whole match. Like it's like how it's like the first act is like this is the set. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this is the first set, and then at the end match point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like how it just kind of goes through the whole set of it. That
Mhm.
was cool. I like the little score box at when they go
Yeah,
back to that
yeah,
at
I
the end
liked how
too.
they had it, and then you see the points change
Mm-hmm.
and the little penalties they get.
Yeah, because they also get like fuck, shit. It's
Mhm.
very tense. It's very emotional because they've got this whole history together
Mhm.
that we're learning. What else? What else? So her and Tashi. I mean, Patrick and Tashi fuck first, and it's
And
kind of
the way
it's like
the way
begrudging.
Art gets Patrick to reveal it is by telling him, "Show me, play like me, and if you play like me, I'll know that you slept with
Yes.
her." And he tells him that he does a thing when he begins to serve that he
Yeah.
sets the ball in the center of the base of the racket. So he does that to him, and you see. I love how like you see in Art's face, like he's smiling at him, like he's like, "Oh, okay," like, and then as soon as he looks
As
away, you
Patrick turns
see those
away.
tears like
Yeah. Well,
his
like
eyes turn
shit.
red, and it's
Yeah.
just you're like, oh, like you feel so bad for him because he's
Mm-hmm.
so disappointed.
And it's like kind of like it's like bad boy, good boy, type of
Yeah,
thing. It's
like
like
Patrick's the bad boy and
yeah,
Art's the good guy, and
that's a
he's
good
actually
guy.
really in love with
Uh
her,
huh.
and he's pining for her. He's been pining for her
Mm-hmm.
the whole
And
time, but he is the one that marries her.
Patrick's a troublemaker. He
Mm-hmm.
likes the thrill of the chase type guy. He just kind of hasn't grown up a bit. He's
Mm-hmm.
but yes and no. Like that's just the kind of guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and just that's who he is gonna be. I think he's also more in love with art
Yeah,
to
I felt
begin
that too,
with.
especially
Yeah.
like that last 5 minutes, like
Yeah.
that was like, oh, okay, like or no, even when they were in the steam room and he's just like, I just want to play with you, and he's like,
Yeah.
and then Art tells him like, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've already moved on from that. Like you're still stuck in that,
And
and
then
you could see the disappointment on Patrick's face.
Art does the whole conniving type like thing too, where he's trying to put in both of their heads like while they're away from each other. Like I don't think he loves you, and I don't think she wants to love him, and
Hmm.
yada da da da. And it instead of like I like how in like instead of getting mad at it or like they see what he's doing. Like Tashi sees what he's doing,
Hmm.
and she gets mad at him.
Hmm.
Patrick sees what he's doing, but Patrick's like, "Don't, hey, like I
Hmm.
know what you're doing. Like it's cool. Like
Yeah.
whatever, stupid. Like this is fun. Like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
he's having a good time." But Patrick and Tashi have a fight. Patrick misses the
Her
match
match.
where she injures herself.
Hmm.
That part I had to look away
And
real
since
quick.
Art was there and supported her, like that's what brought them
That's what
closer.
brought them closer. But also like Tashi also admitted, like, Patrick wouldn't give in. Patrick wouldn't submit.
Hmm.
Patrick wasn't gonna be coached.
Hmm.
Patrick, he like he said, he's like, I'm your equal. I'm
Hmm.
not part of your fan club.
Yeah.
Whereas Art is like, he
Her
adores
biggest
her.
fan. Hmm.
Puts her on this pedestal, and that
She's
she can control that.
yeah.
And that's who she. And that's the dynamic we're playing with here in this love triangle. It's crazy. It was a wild
Hmm.
one. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was a wild back and forth. What did you think about like the break of her knee? How did you feel, or like when you saw it, or did you look, or did you like look
I
away
did
too?
look, and they
Yeah.
showed like you could see like if her kneecap was kind of like popped out or popped. It was like you
Ooh.
sticking out. I thought it was gonna
Ooh.
be more of like a bone popped out. You know when it
Yeah,
like
I thought it was
breaks
gonna
and
be
it
all
pops,
bloody.
but it
Yeah.
was like her knee kind of went out of
Ugh.
the socket or something. But yeah, every
Ugh.
time they would slide their shoes and
Oh,
you
I
would see them
know.
slide, I was just waiting
Me
like,
too.
oh, but that's part of all the tension. There was so much tension in the movie, but it was so like pretty to watch. All the
Yes.
outfits, all the back and forth through time and the hair changes and the wigs, and
Yeah.
it was fun. It was
And
a fun movie.
it was cool too because it wasn't like back and forth between like 1980 and 1960 something. It was like 2019, 2006, 2011. Like
Yeah.
we were aware of, we were there at those times, but it was also kind of timeless too. Like it did like it had to be in those times just because of like the modern appliances or
And the
whatever the fuck
music
and
you could hear.
yeah. But still like even the nostalgia and the music, like in Trent and Atticus is like the vintage synths and shit like that. Like that added to this like sheen, like a commercial sheen to it that reminded me of something like you would watch on like something you would hear on the Olympics, NBC or ABC presents the
And that's
US
why I liked how they
Open.
did the contrast between like they were living in the real luxurious hotel and
Yeah.
everything looked so clean and their outfits were so like plush and then Patrick's like sleeping in his car and
Uh-huh.
there's like he hasn't showered and he even I think in one scene of the movie they made it look like he had like a pimple right here on the side of his mouth and he wasn't shaven and he just looked like he smelled like underarms.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was fun. I like that. I like the oh man, I had this thought right now of that. It was about that too.
About him sleeping in the car?
No, it was about the hotel, the newness. The thought slipped. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, it'll come back to me at some point. I guess. I don't know. That was cool. Just the hold on. It's almost there. Nope. It was almost there. I thought I had it. It was like we were
I know,
talking
I
about it
hate
was
when
like
that happens.
the nostalgia and then the music and then like the damn it, no. No. No.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, that was cool. Luca did a good job of putting everything together. I don't know. It's a pretty movie. We wanted to watch. We would like to watch it again. Like I want to watch it again.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
any of his movies, I'm down to watch again. It didn't disappoint. I was more excited about it than you were. I know that.
Yeah, from the get go, I was just kind of like, I'm gonna watch it because I love Zendaya.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to be one of those where it was like, no, why'd you pick to do that movie? Because I know sometimes that happens for actors and
Yeah, like it's
like they pick one or somebody, you know what I mean? They do a movie that's just you feel's not them, even though you don't
yeah.
know them.
I'm sure there's a lot of like I know that there's like a lot of like one for them, one for you, one for
hmm
them, one for you, and like
Yeah, so
money
I
getters.
was worried that I was gonna hate it
Yeah.
just because I was assuming something based off the trailers.
It's the most commercially appealing movie that he's ever done. Like it
Yeah,
has
for
the
sure.
commercial sheen. It's
hmm
because his movies do tend to have like a more film
Well,
looking
I feel
thing
like
to
Call
it,
Me by
like
Your
film
Name
stock.
was very commercial, but it was just more of a like even though this is a risque topic, that one was more risque because it was two men themselves. Zendaya
Hmm,
kind of is the buffer because it's like, oh, well, they're both in love with
I
her,
get
so
you.
it's okay. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
There's people that still feel like that, like
I
where
like how
it's
it.
more taboo.
That's what I was gonna say. I liked how they went back and forth in time, and it showed like they're all rich, right?
hmm
Like they all had money,
hmm
but it showed them at one point going to like Applebee's. You know what I mean? Like just
hmm
that was fun. Like all the little
Cause yeah, they had to show how they weren't like now they're rich. Like in present
uh
day, him and her are super rich because they're like a power couple. She's
yeah.
coaching him. They have brand stuff. They're partnered with cars and clothes and like tennis line
Yeah.
stuff. And so they're doing well for themselves. You know what I mean? And Patrick's on the other end because he just didn't
Mm-hmm.
like even
He went pro
at
right
one
away.
point in the movie, that's what they talk about. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna go pro right away because I want to have a background.
Yes.
So it's like if she wouldn't have did the Stanford thing and get her marketing, whatever, if she would have injured herself, then she would have had nothing to like,
Yeah.
you
She
know,
didn't quit, but she wasn't the same. Like she didn't
she
quit when she got
couldn't
it.
perform the
She
way
couldn't
she
perform.
was. So
Yeah.
she decided to coach.
Yeah. She decided to coach. She decides to coach Art, who's got a lot more. But now we're in a
It's like
period.
she's living vicariously
Yeah,
through
she's living
him.
through him, and now we're in a period. So there's also an ultimatum of like, it's like a back and forth ultimatum. Like, and Tashi gives them both an ultimatum.
hmm
Like Tashi tells Art, like
You
if you
don't
win,
win,
I'm
I'm
leaving
gonna
you,
leave you.
because she is living through him. She
hmm
really there's she loves him but doesn't love him. Like
hmm
she doesn't really. You can't really see it there. Like she's there.
Uh huh.
She cares for him,
Yeah.
but
It's like he's another like another it's like he's another kid for her.
yeah,
Because with the daughter too, she's like, when she comes in, she's like, "Can we watch Spider-Verse?" And she's like, "Of course we can, but not right now." And escorts her back out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like she's very like
She's very
controlled
driven and very controlled.
Yeah, like she's the boss.
And
Art just follows suit. He's like, "You're my coach. I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do."
And Patrick, on the other hand, so Art's also on the route. Like he wants to get out. He's tired. His shoulder hurts. He doesn't feel like, and he feels like he's too old.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna hit 40 soon, and I can't keep doing this."
Patrick, on the other hand, wants her to coach him, and they've had a tumultuous relationship. They've had like some trysts. Like they show them where they end up sleeping together in Atlanta at one point while her and Art are together. And then even now they ended up sleeping together because
she tells him to throw the match.
Like, and I'm going to fuck you, but throw the match. It ends on a very high note too, where like, it's match point. I had a piss right before this part.
Yeah, having got up right before, and so I'm watching all this last scenes by myself, and like, oh my god, you need to get in here right now.
But he
was standing in the doorway, and I didn't see him.
Yeah, they just start going back and forth. It goes real. The camera follows, and like, I like that too. The camera following the ball.
That's how. So Patrick reveals to Art that he slept with her.
Yes,
because he does the thing with the racket again. Yes. He puts the ball in the center.
Yes.
And then like you see that all like goes through slow motion, the reactions on their face. And that's what I loved. Well, even like I was thinking like, is that why, like in the last scene, how when he does it and he reveals it and then he hits the ball and he lets him get to where they're tied. And then he kind of is there about to hit it and then he smiles at him.
Who smiles at who?
Art smiles. Art smiles at Patrick because I felt like he realized like you are an inspiration. Like you are gonna help me be a better player, and I do want to beat you. Like this is what's gonna drive me or whatever. Like. So I felt like in that moment he kind of forgave him, and that's when they started playing like hardcore back and forth.
Yeah, hardcore back and forth.
And then it's like they get to that last point where it's like a volleyball hit almost, and like neither one of them get to hit it, and they just kind of like embrace. Like
no, Art beats him.
I thought he hit it, but online it says that he doesn't. Before either one of them can hit it, it's like Art's gonna fall over the thing, and Patrick catches him, and then they hug it out.
Okay,
but it's like online it says that he didn't hit it, but to me I thought
Art hit it. It looked like he hit it.
I thought he did. But the way you hear Tashi go, "Come on!" like, and she's happy about it, like that was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was that was a nice scene at the end. That was like, and
it's like, take it for what you will, like whatever happens after, like, you know.
It was like it was the come. Everybody came. Everybody came. Like right? That was it was building up. It was the build up of that whole movie, and then Luca's like, "I'm gonna make you come," and he made everybody come. Let's get to some of this music. I'm gonna have to play some of it, I think. So Challengers, the Challengers is the opening theme, and like it sets the mood. So Trent and Atticus, as I said, did the music for Bones and All. After Bones and All was finished and all this stuff went through, they got an email from Luca, and he said, "Do you want to be on my next film? It's going to be super sexy with 2 X's." And that's how he got them on. They were like, "Okay, yeah, we're done."
That's cool.
Yeah, that was that. Let's see.
Funny.
Luca says of this, he said, "Challengers had 2 elements that were very powerful in terms of sound. One was the erotic crunchy pulse of tennis, the racket swinging, the ball hitting, the bones crunching, and in the other hand was the pulse and the energy of the score. He wanted it to be like very techno Berlin inspired, like house, 4 on the floor, driving. That's what he wanted it, and that's what he told them. Like he told them Berlin, techno, 80s, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he emphasized, like, you hear they're cracking bones, they're whacking the ball.
Yeah, you hear when they hit, and it's that
Yeah, that was that. The thwack when they hit their racks on the floor and break that shit. When Tashi breaks her knee.
The crunch of the knee. The slide of the shoes when they're just like back and forth.
It's a very high intensity, like high impact sport. Like
the ball on the racket, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. So Challengers opens it up. It's a good opening theme, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, it's just fucking driving, and then it ends with that.
Yeah, it's crazy
That
because it's
fucks
just
me
like an
up.
alarm goes
Ugh.
off and you're like, whoa.
Because I used to use that alarm. Ugh.
I know. I
Ugh.
hate
I
that.
fucking hate that shit. Ugh. That so when I know starts the boom, boom, boom,
That's when
boom,
they're in the
boom,
hotel room
boom,
and he
and
tells her, I
yeah,
love you. And she's like, I
I
know.
know,
And
and
walks
boom,
away. And it's like, all
boom,
right.
boom. Dun. That's like those little opening chords, like dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun, dun. That's what reminds me of like I expected like a Cool Running style movie. Like, all right, this is the U.S. Open. Like, I expected to hear like an announcer talking and like on the film. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of theme to me pulled that. The fact that that wasn't what it was is
Yeah.
is fucking cool. Like it was
Yeah.
just something that was familiar enough, but that they didn't do the thing that could have been done and could have been cliche and all that shit. You know, that was I like that. Yeah. Yeah. What'd you think of I Know?
No, yeah. I was like, you said it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What'd you think about this one? Yeah.
That one I kept like when I was hearing it and it
yeah,
played when she
yeah.
comes out and everybody's like, yeah, Tashi, like, and she's gonna play and she has her long
Oh,
trenza.
yeah.
A part of me thought because she sings too, she's a musician too. Like
Oh,
that's what she started off doing, like when she was still like Disney kid, like.
okay, okay.
But then she got more into the acting, so I was like, part of me thought I'm like, is it her voice on
I
there?
think no,
It's Trent's voice.
I think it's either Trent or his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Trent though, because Trent does that a lot, where he just pitches it up,
Yeah.
or fucking Atticus. I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the three. I think.
It is Trent's wife.
But
One of
yeah,
the three.
I thought it was different. Like it was cool.
Yeah, me too.
Like it was cute. It reminded me. It was very like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know. It was It was cute.
Like this is my theme song.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Mhm.
I liked it. Loof was that.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
That one
piano
reminded me
theme.
of the one with Olivia Colman.
Oh, Empire of Light.
Uh-huh.
That was very Empire of Light.
I could hear
yeah,
it. And it made
I
me
could
feel
totally hear
like that sadness and that like, oh,
That
yeah.
movie was so beautiful.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that movie. Oh,
Mhm.
we gotta watch that movie again.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
very
what that
that
reminded me
for
of.
sure. This is so everybody is fucking raving about this soundtrack. First off, like so we'll I'll come back to this in a bit, but everybody's like calling it like kind of harken like how the same type of magic they caught with Social Network,
Mhm.
that type of thing. They're
Yeah.
feel like people are feeling like this is it. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the last one that they had done, and that
Mhm.
or no, The Killer was before that.
Okay, yeah.
So those two are fine. You know, they're good. Like Ninja Turtles is rad.
Yeah.
I think even Ninja Turtles more than The Killer probably. But people like are even kind of they're kind of disregarding those, and they're kind of saying like this is a return to form for what they're doing. So I don't know. Like people love this shit. The Signal. The Signal.
Mhm.
Did you have any notes?
Yeah, that was the one where it plays when he tells him like, yeah, I slept with her, like
Yes,
that
where
he
he
gave
did
him
the
the
thing.
signal. Mhm.
Yeah,
So
and
that
it's
one
just very
comes back like later where it's like
very driving still, very four on the floor. Like
Mhm.
all their songs are four on the floor. They're within that same key of love and dun, 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 dun. They kind of stay in that same key. I gotta figure out. I want to see what that is. I gotta play that out on the piano. Brutalizer.
That's funny.
I know. Brutalizer. So I like all the Brutalizers. I think the Brutalizers are my favorite ones. They reminded me most of like Apex Twin.
Yeah.
They were the most techno-y, the most industrial.
Yeah, the reminds like I could hear like a little bit of like Underworld, Orbital, like it had that kind of sound in there
Yes.
too.
Yeah, softer drumming. Not softer drumming, like faster drumming. The drum hits were a little more poppy, I think. Like not poppy in terms of like what the sound was, but like they had more tack to them.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had
yeah.
more attack. Yeah, let's see which. Yeah, because it those songs to me, that stuff kind of sounds like insects to me, or like if it was like
It sounds like
insects, or if like we were riding on a robotic snake. That's what I feel like.
Like
And,
the scales are making
the
that
scales or something. Like that's what it.
Ticky-tacky.
That's kind of like a ticky. Yeah, that's the type of shit I fucking hear. Yeah.
It's like metallic.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't. Guillermo del Toro, like Guillermo sounds like, you know how he has like organic, like
or like
that
the scuttling and the bugs.
There's that type of texture is what that reminds me of. I have trouble with it a lot on some songs, on some things. There are some Aphex Twin songs that do it right, and this is a Trent and Atticus. These brutalizers are to me like Aphex Twin songs that do it right. Stopper. So Stopper adopts the yeah. Okay. I mean, a continuation of that. Still good song. More funky. This one
had more dance.
That one had more like electric bass on it. Like I like that. This soundtrack came with some confidence to it. You know what I mean? Like to me, this soundtrack.
Yeah, it was just like with a punch. Like it was powerful. It was fast. It was upbeat. It wasn't like there wasn't a lot of ballads. It wasn't like a lot of melodic. Like it was just like
this was an electronic album.
This is a like high energy. Like we're playing tennis. Like it's, you know what I mean?
JJ from the future once again, and I just want to say a few episodes back, I believe in the Watchmen episode, I had said something about wanting Trent and Atticus to do an electronic album, and I think I got my wish. Awesome.
Yeah, Brutalizer 2 stays within the theme of Brutalizer, but it expands it a bit more. It goes into a different movement. It kind of slows down a little bit in the middle of it too. That was pretty cool, but still, Brutalizer. I think those two are my favorite ones on this. I think those two. The Points That Matter. That one reminded me. I don't know. Just, I mean, I could be in the club. That one. There's just you could just all this whole soundtrack. I mean, so I'll go over it right now after we finish talking about it, because there's another version of this album. But Lullaby is a lullaby. It's a lull of a song. Did this play during? Do you remember when this played? I don't remember when this played.
I'm trying to think when this one. Oh, I think this one played when they're in Atlanta, when they're like she's in the lobby.
Oh,
I think that's when it played.
That would make sense.
I think that's when it played.
Damn, you have a good recall for some of this stuff.
Because we just saw it. It was so good.
It was so right there. Yeah. Final set. It's driving. It's got the same. Well, it's
to
funkier.
me. It's kind of like it's more like, all right, we're gonna do this. Get your head in the game. Like focus on the task. Like
yeah, it's chiller. More. Yeah, you're right. Like more like we have a plan. Final set type shit. Yeah. You're true. I like that. Pull Over.
That one was very like pump, but it's because it was so like she's leaving the hotel room in the middle of the night. He's pretending he's her Uber driver. They speed away, and then she gets mad because he's like, she's asking him to do this, and like, you know what I mean? And then she's like, "Why am I in your fucking car?" And then pull over, and then that's when it happens. Like,
she acts like she's not there.
And that's when he tells her to her face, like, "At least I know I'm a piece of shit. You're pretending you're not." And then she tries to like get away, and then she's like, "I'm a piece of shit."
Yep. She's a piece of shit, and she goes back and fucks him.
She got her way.
She did. She got her way from both of them.
Yeah.
From both of them. She dominated this whole fucking thing. Right. Yeah. She got her way for both of them. All the money. She still has all the money. She's still gonna if both of them blow off, she'll still have all the money. Yeah,
because then she'll be a coach for Anu, and she will get him to the. Yeah.
Friday afternoons.
Do you think that's what? Sorry, let me pause that. Do you think that's what ended up happening? Like, she gave him the ultimatum: if you don't win, I'm gonna leave you. She tells Patrick, or he asks her to coach him, and that's part of the whole, like, he gave her the number because he wants her to coach him. And of course, she calls him thinking, and she tells him, I'm not going to fuck you. And then he's like, well, then why the fuck did you call me? You know what I mean? But I'm like, do you think that's what happened? Like, okay, Art wins. He tells her he wants to retire. Do you think he kept going? Did he retire and then she decides now I'm going to coach Patrick because we're all copacetic now?
Yeah.
That's what I started to wonder.
I mean, that'd be best case scenario. Like, they let Art retire.
You retired. I'm gonna coach him now,
and we're all still cool.
Yeah, and we're gonna build this brand.
And we're gonna fuck each other, all of us. Yeah.
There you go.
Throuple. It was throuple movie. Throuple movie. Yeah. And that's what it was. It was
throuple.
It was like, why aren't we just letting this be a throuple?
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie. Why aren't we just letting this be a throuple? Mm-hmm. The whole movie could have,
It was more exciting this way because things.
More exciting.
They're still young, like they're in their 30s, like barely, like they could still, you know what I mean? Like it would still work.
Yeah, yeah.
I was reading I'll bring this up. Let me write myself a note. I'll bring this up after you finish this one.
So Friday Afternoon, Opus 7, Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 is by the choir. Let's see, the choir Downside School. And let's see, Purely a Viola, written by Benjamin Britten. It was like little children choir, like, and then it moves into Trent Atticus's version of it with the synths. That song was pretty cool. I
liked it with the synths.
I don't remember when it came
I'm not a big fan of like
choirs,
children singing like.
Reminds me of Christmas. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, like it reminds me of Christmas.
This is a New Year carol.
Or to me, it's kind of a little bit like spooky. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like when children, like in unison, like lots of children are singing. Yeah, just
like
kind
that.
Of like,
Dead Man's Bones. But
I love Dead Man's Bones.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Trent Atticus version of it too.
It was pretty.
That was pretty. Challengers Match Point.
That one too was good because it brought back that beginning, and they're everything. Like, "All right, let's do this," and they actually play. And then I liked it when they did it because that scene before she wasn't watching either one of them; she was just sitting there staring, and
That's
you see
true.
the crowd, the heads going back and forth and back and forth, and she's just not looking because she's so like fuck, like what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then when this one starts and they're like playing, because that's what she had told them at the beginning when they were gonna play each other. I want to see some good tennis. Like I want to see a good game. And that's why she was so pumped because it was such a good game for her to watch.
Yeah. Yeah? I'm with that too.
Yeah. Like, to me, it was like she was watching them make out all over again.
I think so too. Yeah. It's the same thing. Compress, repress. That's a fucking...
That one I liked more after I heard it a couple times.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, when it came out on it was it's like end credit song.
Yeah.
It was like that.
I like that he sang on it.
Yeah.
Like I like that he sang on it. It felt like he was kind of like, we're back. We're coming back.
We're back, baby.
Get ready for 9 Inch Nails.
But that's what it was. It was like compression and repression.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, and like letting it go and pushing it back. And then like at the end, you come. Like that's kind of like, I thought about that too right now. Like when she got injured, she lost that part of herself. She lost that like challenge. She couldn't do it more. And she lost some of the like as a if you've done something long enough, or if you have like a passion that you at some point you lose, there's some luster that goes from you. I'm sure that happens. It happens with you sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
I go through little funks.
Same here. Like it's harder for me to pull myself into the studio, even though we're in the studio right now. It's hard for me now at this certain age. That it's harder for me than it was when I was like 15, 20. Now, like at 30 something,
because you have more responsibilities.
There's more
and
shit.
More you're adulting. You have to do the stuff,
and you lose some things after especially like after an injury and stuff like that. So like. When it
you can't just do it for fun. You have to do it for work, And
that was like the special thing at that part. It was just like, this is good, pure version of what the thing I love is. It was a good, pure version of tennis, and she loved it. And that was like...
Or even like that scene where she's like, after her injury and her and Art are hitting the ball back and forth. And she's like, stop taking it easy on me. Like, and then so he finally starts hitting it with her, and then she falls, and then you see her walk away and she goes and sits by the tree. and like you see her like, and she's it's like she's about to break down, and then she sits up and she puts her little brace back and she's just wipes away her tears, and it's just like no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I felt like that right there was just like, yep, like so powerful.
That's that callus that you have to build sometimes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very powerful movie. Boys Noise did a 9-track, a mixed version of this album, 9 tracks off this album, and he mixed it a certain way. Boys Noise, German producer. His name is Alexander Reida. He started out in like, I want to say. So he started in the early. Let's see. He started producing and DJing from an early age. He supported Felix the Hellcat and DJ Hell on some things. He's remixed music from David Lynch, NERD, Depeche Mode, Daft Punk, Justice, Chemical Brothers. He's done a lot. Like Boys Noise. If you haven't heard that,
I wanna say I maybe saw a
him?
DJ set.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool. You know what? I might have it also. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I feel like I did.
JJ Caballero back once again. I just looked it up. I believe I bartended at this show because Boys Noise played here in El Paso, I believe in 2012. At a venue I worked at, I did sound night and I did, production stuff, but I also bartended there. So, I think I bartended that show. Crazy.
There was a point where I was going to DJ shows like left and right, and I
gotta look. I wonder if he played a Neon Desert. I don't know if he played a Neon Desert, but I don't know if he did. But I want to say that sounds like something I could have gone to see as well. He rocks. He's done it himself for his. Let's see. He's 41 now. He started in 2004, so he's still doing stuff. His most recent thing too, like aside from the mix of this album, was he's been on. I don't know if he's been on tour or he's done some stuff with Rico Nasty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They have a whole rollout of some shit, and so he's still out there. He's still doing his thing. Let's see. He formed a side project with Skrillex called Dog Blood in 2012. Yeah. He's been doing a bunch. He's still working, still doing this stuff. Obviously, this Challengers mixed record was pretty cool because I don't know. That's different. Nobody does it. Like that's another this is how we're gonna sample this. It's gonna be mixed by a DJ. Boom.
Yeah.
And he's gonna mix our music and it's his special version of it. I think that's fucking cool. Like that's a cool way to promote something. Awesome movie. What was you were gonna say a thing?
Oh, yes. So I was reading because, of course, when you can start doing Google searches and it's just like, is Challengers based off of a true story? And it's like, no, it wasn't. But it I don't know if maybe Venus or Serena referenced that it is kind of based off of a famous couple in tennis. That whole, I'm going to coach you. But I didn't I didn't do a deeper dive into who or what. But when we were talking about the whole throuple thing, that's what it just reminded me of that, that it was based off of a famous tennis couple, as far as that, they based that kind of relationship of the coaching and the player off of that couple.
I'm gonna put this out to the listeners. If you're in a throuple, did it play out like Challengers? Did it do that, or how did it play?
Or how did or how do you make the only throuple? No, I don't know any throuples. I thought
Wasn't that lady that braided your hair? Isn't she in a throuple?
Oh, yeah. One of the girls that braided my hair one time, they were in a throuple. They've moved away from here since, recently, I think. But they were in a throuple. But I wasn't going with her long enough to actually, build any rapport to, ask about it.
We should clone one of us.
You know what I mean?
We should clone one of us and be in a throuple.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how it'll be. But how did you do it? What did you do?
Yeah, I don't know how,
how does that initiate?
How to not be jealous.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? I would like to think that I'm not, but you know what I mean? I'm sure it comes through.
I have this book somewhere called The Ethical Slut, and it's about that. It's about openness and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got it at a time when I was questioning like what the nature of relationships are and like jealousy and stuff, because I do get like, I know I do, but that made me look at like, okay, well, this is how people in open relationships do that, and like they can look at it in a certain way, and it is like, I don't know, like I don't know if I, like I don't know if that's, but like I can see that, but like I think it's all like, I don't know, to me this, it was like, it seemed as though there was enough mutual love like between all of them, like,
Yeah.
and then Tashi she didn't even kind of like, at the points, like she kind of didn't even feel like she was part of the equation. I think she herself like pushed herself and pulled herself out of, like she was able to turn it on and off at certain points, and I think that's how she made it work for her. Or I don't know.
Yeah, because she still was a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Like she was still trying to do the thing. Like
Yeah.
that mattered more to her than either one of them. I feel like
Yeah, that
tennis mattered most.
I think that, but it was like, it's like, I mean, to me, that's what I got out. I was like, you guys, it was a throuple from the beginning, and it was forced into the modern idea of what relationships are, where it could have just been that the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Because it's not like Patrick wanted to be married or whatever, and Art did. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that was the only way it was going to work for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more there's a lot more out in Gen Zers, like Zoomers and stuff like that. How can I say it? There's like a whole like polyamory like world out there. I think TikTok is exposing a lot of it too. Like there's a lot of people like, I'm poly, and my husband and his girlfriend and our girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, sometimes it's a little over the top. So I don't like the stuff that I've seen has been on like comedy shows, people making fun of that shit. But that's real shit that's out there, and like there's studies and stuff. This pops up in the political stuff I watch, right? And it's like there's studying stuff where kids and like they're more like the people nowadays, like they're understanding that there are other structures of what relationships can be, right? Like where it doesn't have to be as rigid as like we're one forever. Yeah, like this, and it can be a little more this and that. So I don't know. I think just the future is headed more towards, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it could be headed towards.
Yeah, because it's not like you can get certain things from different people. You know what I mean? Like you get certain things that fulfill you from different people. So it's like, if you make it work in that way, like that's awesome. Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then also the SB, that one Sam Bankman-Fried that was arrested, and there was like a whole thing with like the crypto and stuff. Like, did you ever see that news that I was watching at the time?
I don't think so.
So he owned a crypto exchange called FTX, and he screwed a bunch of people over basically. It was it's kind of a fake bank basically.
Yeah.
But he was in a polycule. And a polycule is just, it's a group of people that are all in a relationship together. You know, like old hippie shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like we live in a commune, and we're all like doing it and raising each other's kids and that type of thing. So that was, and they were like tech people. So that's a thing, I guess, that fucking, people are into. So this movie was hot, and it made it I don't know, I guess it brought up a wider conversation. Again, I didn't think about talking about that, but that's like a cool aspect of it, like to analyze, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it was a good movie. It was just, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about in that movie. Power dynamics, like, it's kind of feminist in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's never like a damsel. Like, she's never like, even when she gets hurt, like, she refuses to be.
Like, I'm not gonna, like, or even when they're eating in the Applebee's, and she's like, well, what did you think I was gonna commit suicide?
Yeah,
like, because they know how much she loves tennis. And it's just like, well, if I can't do tennis, I'm gonna be tennis. Like, you know?
And it's like, and it's that too. It's like kind of like well, exactly. Like, what do you think I was gonna commit suicide? It's like, oh yeah, like people make those assumptions of shit, but it's not the real shit. Like, she's smart, she can think for herself, and it showed. Like, she was she had control of who she was the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Like she knew exactly who she was the whole time. Like
Mhm.
I mean, they did too for the most part, but it was still more there was more bumbling and boys
Yeah.
just doing that. So I don't know. Good movie. I don't know. Good movie. Any final thoughts, love?
I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I want to watch it again too. I want to watch it again, but naked.
Like, get on the streaming.
Yeah.
But it's just like, they're just like, I loved that they didn't have to be so explicit with
Yeah.
anything. Like, they really didn't. And
Mhm.
like, yeah, the movie's rated R, but like, there's not really like,
You don't see sex.
you don't
see sex.
body parts. Like, it's
No.
rated R because I think the dick's in the locker room. Like, that's
Yeah,
why
that's
it's rated
true.
R.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, basically, like, there's nothing. It's not like a super racy. Like,
no.
they're not showing stuff. It's just building that, and it's just the scene and the setup and the, you know what I mean?
It's the
and it was the
build-up.
actor. It was they did a great
and
job.
they were they were awesome. Everybody was awesome. Everybody played it real well. Art and Patrick were fucking awesome.
They had
amazing.
They had great chemistry.
They had amazing.
They had great chemistry.
They were
together.
It was heartbreaking watching them go through their breakup. You know, like that. And that's why I wanted to cry at the end because it was like they got back together. Like that's what was awesome about it. Like. Yeah, I mean, even she
was. It's like she was vocal
mad.
coach. Like, she was just like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Even she knew. So yeah, good fucking movie. Yeah, good on Luca.
I felt like it was a very honest movie.
Yes, very honest.
It was a very honest movie. Like,
because
even like all the scenes, like when she sees him in the lobby, when she sees Patrick in the lobby, and he's there on that date.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing here? Like, you're not staying here. Like, it's obvious. Like, we all know you're not staying here." And he's like, I thought, what are you guys doing here? I thought you would have rented a villa or something. Like, they're being very blatant about, like, I know you guys are loaded. Like, we all know you're loaded. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? But he never felt less than them, even though he was living, like, he never felt less than. He was still, like...
That's when Luca's movies are very honest.
Yeah, I felt like it was a real presentation of a situation.
All of his movies... Call Me by Your Name. Like, there's no real heart. Like, as much like sexual repression is in as a character in that, it still lets them become who they need to become. Without much resistance to anything. Like Bones and All, we're fucking eaters. This is how we're learning the word.
Yeah, and it's like, what would happen if you were in this? Like, if that was a reality, like, how would it go? And it's just
Suspiria more, it's like they have to hide and stuff because it's a horror film, I guess. But even that, like, she realized, like, she's like, oh, I'm a dancer. She realizes I'm Mother Suspiria. You know what I mean? She's like, it's just who they are. Like, and this is like, it's them fighting against who they are. It's like them, like,
right.
Whatever,
it's like they were struggling because they were keeping away from, and then it's just like, no, like,
this is
don't fight it.
Yeah, good fucking movie. Good movie. Great on Luca. Great on Trent and Atticus. Very glad that we could do another installment of the Trent and Atticus series. Very excited to see what they do in the future. Very excited. I mean, 9 Inch Nails is making music, so fucking they have to tour and we have to go see it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
We were gonna see them,
and then COVID.
They canceled a bunch of concerts. Sucked. We were gonna go to Ohio to watch them. Like,
right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we were gonna do. But either way, super excited. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. Follow us on Instagram at Monostereo Video, deepcuts_EP. You can follow us. Follow the links below on the things to get our show letterboxed. jjcaballero.com, which kind of leads back to a bunch of links. That's what it's a bunch of links for all our shit either way. So it all leads to the same place. Find us on the social medias. The people who are on throuples, quadruples, quintuples, let us know how did you do that, and let us know if it played out like this. That's a very interesting movie, very good movie. We need to see it again. Any final words, my love?
No, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you to my friends who listen and
Yeah.
download and tell me and laugh at me. Like, it's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's awesome. This was awesome. Thank you guys very much. We will listen to you later.